What is going on, everyone? Henry Ruggs has killed a 23-year-old woman in a DUI car crash. Stay tuned. We'll tell you about it. So if you guys have not heard, Henry Ruggs, the NFL player for the Las Vegas Raiders.
That's right. He's star wideout.
Yeah, so he has been charged with a DUI and not currently charged with anything else, but he got into a car crash with excessive speed, right?
Right.
And killed a woman, killed her dog, wrecked his Corvette, wrecked whatever she was driving.
Yeah. Hit him from behind. I think he was going 156 miles an hour when he hit her from behind.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And it was at 3:45 a.m.
150 miles an hour, and I'm not going to incriminate myself. I've gone pretty quickly, but 156, 157, that is really quick.
Yeah. And he had a blood alcohol level of twice the legal limit in Las Vegas, Nevada. So
I mean, there's no reason anyone should be getting behind the wheel at twice the legal. I mean, that's you know you're drunk at twice the legal limit.
Well, I think if I was drinking and driving, it'd probably be best to just drive the speed limit.
I mean, we don't want to advocate for that, but really,
right, let's not separate ourselves from the pack, and then
you're drunk if you're drunk. So
and it was in a residential neighborhood. That's the crazy thing. So I guess he was headed home. He had his girlfriend or wife in the car.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know exactly what street that's on, but most residential neighborhoods, they have speed limits of 30 miles an hour, depending on where you are, maybe a little bit more.
Right.
So we have
the other shocking thing about this is he was going 127 miles an hour when when the airbags deployed.
Yeah, and he
so
didn't die.
he barely braked
Yeah,
before he hit this car. So he was totally obliterated.
Tapped the brakes. He didn't even know they were there. I mean, that's insane. We have some media, so let's get into it.
Yeah,
with a crash that claimed the life of a young Las Vegas woman.
You can see right here the mangled mess that's been left behind after that fire ignited from that crash.
The Fox 5 drone above the crash scene here in the West Valley.
Yeah, marks on the road. You can see right there those green lines as investigators were trying to determine what played out. This is happening near Rainbow Boulevard and Spring Valley Parkway.
And after a close...
So you think that's like where he skidded or something, that you see those types of lines on the street?
Yeah, and I mean, I guess you're going to see that kind of stuff in most rear-end wrecks because someone eventually will notice that, they're about to rear-end someone. But, I mean, I guess we'll see in a minute. But you're saying that he didn't brake too much in advance. So, I mean, it'd be interesting to know how long those skids were to know really, how long in advance did he brake?
Right, yeah. And he seems to be, in a residential area, and you could see the strip in the background right there.
Yeah,
so.
That's probably not a 30-mile-an-hour zone, but that's still, you don't go 120 or 150 in a residential street.
Right.
I mean, you don't really know who's out and about at night. Probably not very many kids or animals are out, but you don't travel that quickly in a residential neighborhood.
For the entire morning commute, a tow truck finally moved out the two cars involved this afternoon. And here is the very latest on the investigation tonight. Ruggs is booked into the Clark County Detention Center tonight. A 23-year-old woman and her dog were killed.
I want to make a note of this. So he's in the detention center. He didn't die from this, right? So I guess we're gonna read in a minute that
a guy actually catches him on video outside the car, right here. So we're gonna be able to see him and his girlfriend.
I mean, that's a major ragdoll effect. Get into an accident at 120 miles an hour and you don't die. I mean, that's insane. If anyone, I mean.
We're waiting for her identity to be released by the coroner.
Police say 22-year-old Ruggs was driving that 2020 Corvette. It hit the rear of that Toyota Rav. Investigators say Ruggs stayed on the scene and did show signs of impairment. He's due back in court tomorrow. Plenty of neighbors in the West Valley startled from their sleep by the sound of the impact of that crash.
One witness shared the aftermath as Ruggs and his girlfriend came out of the Corvette following the crash.
I was doing my laundry when I heard a big bang. Actually, I have more than one.
That neighbor told.
Yeah.
Who does laundry at 3:45?
Yeah, I was just about to say, who's doing laundry at this time? But also,
it is Las Vegas, so nobody sleeps in Vegas. So.
Yeah, but the other thing to think about is, this startled enough people that more than one person, said something. I mean, that's a big impact. I don't know what it sounds like for two vehicles or for a vehicle traveling that fast to hit another one. I mean, I don't. You'll hear accidents on the interstate or whatever at 70 miles an hour, but that's yeah. I mean, that had to be extremely loud, if especially if it's waking people up.
Right. And you just think how hard do you have to hit somebody to make them catch on fire and when you hit them from behind.
Yeah, and that we saw that other vehicle. I mean, there was nothing left of. I mean, that thing obviously when it caught flames,
Right.
it was enough flames to ignite the whole vehicle basically.
Yeah.
Everything on the inside, the whole car was
Yeah.
just gone.
It's really sad, tragic event.
Yeah.
Told us he sees tons of crashes in the area, so he didn't think much of it.
But then I started hearing people yelling when I got too close to the wall that it's dividing the street and the apartments. I saw people trying to get the person, whoever was inside, wasn't conscious because they were yelling to get him out, get out, get out, but that person was not responding.
He says he ran back to his apartment complex to grab a fire extinguisher.
I got to the
Yeah. So was he saying that he was screaming at the woman or Alex that wouldn't get out of the car?
Oh, Henry Ruggs, is that what you're talking about? The wide receiver?
Was he screaming that guy that was...
Yeah, I think they were trying to scream at the person that got hit from behind.
Okay,
that
and
was
so
unconscious, possibly.
Yeah, and so she didn't get out. Did she die on the scene? Do you know?
Yeah, she did. She was engulfed in the flames of the car.
I mean, that's...
wall, and I handed the fire extinguisher to somebody in there that was already helping. And by the time I tried to climb into the wall and then jump to the outside.
That's crazy. There's like no front end left of that Corvette. That's a brand new Corvette.
That is, there is not an engine in the front of the new Corvette. So for those of you guys that don't know, the
really?
new Corvette, it's a mid-engine vehicle. So it's not like the engine block got completely destroyed and like mangled and is just gone.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's essentially, there's a front trunk. So it's a little bit hollow and it'll crush a little bit easier, but I mean, there's nothing there.
That could have saved his life because it could have been like Tiger Woods where that engine like just crushed your legs.
I mean,
when you're going that fast.
Yeah, there's a very good possibility that if the engine was up front, he would have died.
Yeah.
So I'm not, if there's anything good, which he might have died as well if it wasn't in that vehicle. If it was a different vehicle.
Then the big fireball just came out of the car, and we all backed up. So there was nothing that we could have done.
That is insane. So that is not the Corvette. That is the woman's vehicle. It looks like it's got, had multiple doors on it, not just two front doors, but I mean. There's nothing there.
That vehicle right there, that is the RAV4, I think, that caught on fire. So.
Yeah, if you look at the top left of the screen, also it looks like there's a bunch of debris up there. I mean, this was not a pretty accident. I mean, it went all over the road. At that speed, it doesn't surprise me.
Right.
And I saw people very frustrated. I was very frustrated because I couldn't do anything.
And this is when he saw two people sitting on the ground.
I'm going to get closer to see if they need any help.
He says the pair looked young, but they were conscious and upset.
And I can tell that he was mad. He was conscious of whatever was going on because he was cursing, and then he knew what happened.
Man.
Yeah, he knew what happened. He saw that the vehicle was in flames. He knew that he crashed his car. He knew he was going to jail because he knew he was drunk. All of this, he knew everything. Of course, he's mad.
He knew his career was over.
Oh, everything.
I think the next morning, the Las Vegas Raiders released him completely from his contract. So
I mean, it's even if they didn't release him, like he's done. I mean, this is he's gonna be charged with manslaughter. I mean, if not somehow charge him for more than that. I mean, he's already been charged with DUI. I mean, he's going to lose his license forever if he gets out of jail. In 15 years or whatever. I mean, this is.
And the crazy thing about this is the NFL has a car service for all NFL players to get home from something like this. You don't even have to call an Uber.
Yeah.
You can just call the car service. They'll come get you.
Yeah, just like, hey, come pick me up. I'm drunk. And then guess what?
But
you have to go get your car the next day. Like, is getting your car the next day worse than this?
Right.
I
I mean,
mean,
this is a guy in his early 20s. He's a first-round draft pick in 2020.
he has a lot of life to live. His not only is his career over, his life is basically going to be over because if and when he gets out of jail, which of course he hasn't been charged and put in jail yet, but if and when he gets out of jail, I mean, what's he going to do? Who's going to hire him? I mean,
Yeah.
unless he's
He was probably
he's-
booked in jail that night, right?
Yeah,
That-
you would think.
Considering they said he was impaired.
Yeah.
They knew he was impaired when the police arrived, so he was probably booked for DUI that night. But
Yeah.
we'll see about further charges.
We'll see, and we'll update you guys. And also, we didn't mention it before, but if you give us a like and a subscribe, ring the bell, we are going to be posting a lot more content, guys.
Yeah,
So
help us out. Please like and subscribe.
get our reach out there. More people, more videos is going to be great.
Yeah, and visit thefreespeechforum.com. Come talk. We're on there every night, so you can chat with us.
Yeah,
So tell us
got
what you think.
Conversations everywhere. All right, guys. Please join it. We'll see you in the next one.
See ya.